Ukrainian military expert Oleg Katkov says that Ukraine has been using Western F-16 fighters for some time now, not only as an air defense system. This jet is already doing this. There are photos that are leaking online. We can say with confidence that if a photo of this F-16 appeared 2 weeks ago, then the Russians saw it. It shows an F-16 carrying small diameter bombs. Therefore, it is clear that the F-16 used small caliber, long range, small diameter bombs to strike Russian targets in the Kursk region. This is simply a fact, Katkov said. He also, referring to a photo on the internet, suggested that Ukraine could have used Western fighters to destroy Russian aircraft. Recently, a photo of an F-16 landing after a long mission appeared in one Telegram channel, and its weapons are visible. One missile is missing, an AIM-9C. This is a version of the missile that has a range of 105 to 120 kilometers, and it fired it at some Russian aircraft, perhaps during a mission to cover other aircraft that were carrying out bombing strikes. So yes, F-16s are already being used as an aircraft, a multi-role fighter, the expert added. Recall recently new combat images confirmed that Ukraine's F-16 fighters are carrying advanced American-made missiles, marking a major boost to their air defense capabilities. This expansion of Ukraine's F-16 capabilities represents a significant evolution in its air combat operations. It combines defensive and offensive capabilities with advanced electronic warfare systems specifically tailored for the Russian threat environment. Beyond air defense, Ukrainian F-16s are now conducting ground attack missions near the front lines. The fighters carry GBU-39/B small diameter bombs, which offer high accuracy and useful standoff range against semi-hardened static targets. Each aircraft can carry multiple bombs, with large numbers available in NATO stockpiles. The jets are also equipped with sophisticated protection systems. These include the AN/ALQ-131 pod for radar threat defense, and the Danish-made Pylon Integrated Dispensing System Plus, which can detect incoming missiles and deploy countermeasures. These electronic warfare systems were specifically optimized against Russian threats with US Air Force assistance. The War Zone notes, adding that combat data being shared back to improve capabilities for both countries. However, challenges persist in Ukraine's F-16 program. After losing its first F-16 and pilot in August 2024, some deliveries have faced delays. The Belgian Ministry of Defense cites pilot training and spare parts shortages as key issues. Despite these setbacks, recent deliveries of Dutch F-16s have arrived, contributing to the promised total of approximately 85 aircraft from NATO allies, including 24 from the Netherlands, 19 from Denmark, and 12 from Norway, with Belgium pledging 30.
Ukraine has offered to strike a deal with U.S. President Donald Trump for continued American military aid in exchange for developing Ukraine's mineral industry, which could provide a valuable source of the rare earth elements that are essential for many kinds of technology. According to Associated Press, Trump said that he wanted such a deal earlier this month, and it was initially proposed last fall by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as part of his plan to strengthen Kiev's hand in future negotiations with Moscow. Rare earth elements are a set of 17 elements that are essential to many kinds of consumer technology, including cell phones, hard drives, and electric and hybrid vehicles. It's unclear if Trump is seeking specific elements in Ukraine, which also has other minerals to offer. China, Trump's chief geopolitical adversary, is the world's largest producer of rare earth elements. Both the U.S. and Europe have sought to reduce their dependence on Beijing. For Ukraine, such a deal would ensure that its biggest and most consequential ally doesn't freeze military support. That would be devastating for the country, which has been at war for nearly 3 years after Russia's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022. The idea also comes at a time when reliable and uninterrupted access to critical minerals is increasingly hard to come by globally. Ukraine's rare earth elements are largely untapped because of the war and because of state policies regulating the mineral industry. The country also lacks good information to guide the development of rare earth mining. Geological data is thin because mineral reserves are scattered across Ukraine, and existing studies are considered largely inadequate. The industry's true potential is clouded by insufficient research, according to businessmen and analysts. The country's reserves of titanium, a key component for the aerospace, medical and automotive industries, are believed to be among Europe's largest.
Ukraine has offered to strike a deal with U.S. President Donald Trump for continued American military support in exchange for developing its minerals industry, which could provide a valuable source of critical raw materials essential for many kinds of technology. Trump said he's interested in such a deal earlier this month. It was initially proposed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenski as part of his plan to strengthen Ukraine's hand in any future negotiations with Russia. The bulk of Ukraine's critical raw materials such as lithium, uranium, and titanium are largely untapped because of the ongoing war, but also because of state policies regulating the industry here. Geological data in particular is quite thin. Trump in particular has expressed interest in rare earth elements, and the research into that here is also quite nascent. However, titanium is quite an established industry here, as you can see in the open pit mine behind me. Ukraine is believed to have one of the largest reserves of titanium in Europe. Now, Ukrainian businessmen are pretty keen to work with Americans in this sector. However, many of them express skepticism that American companies may not come here in the absence of security guarantees. This deal will likely be a subject of conversation in the coming weeks and months, and especially when Zelensky meets Trump.
Без питань. Очень сам начинали. Я свою душу просто не